Good morning, everyone. It's Yvonne here, and thank you so much for joining us. I am here today with our second 2021 Mayesh Design Star, Gilberto Espinoza of Dogwood Fir. Today, we're going to be taking a deeper dive into his Dutch still life arrangement video that we just went live with. It's beautiful, like drop dead gorgeous, the music, everything. I hope you guys got a chance to watch it. But if not, check it out after this live. Also, after we talk about his design, we are going to dive a little bit also into how Gilberto sells by color palette instead of specific flowers for his daily work. I talked about it a little bit last month, but I wanted to just show that to you guys and just again reiterate what an amazing idea this is, especially during our crazy pandemic flower inventory issues that we're having right now. So just a really great way of selling. So I just wanted to share that with you guys as well, and along with answering any flower questions that you guys might have as well. So while we get started, and people are joining us, be sure to give us a little hello, say hi, let us know how everything is going. Let me just do a refresh on Instagram because I don't see it live. It says that we should be. Oh, hold on. Because I'm looking at it as Mayesh. Let me go and change it and look at it as myself and just double check. Okay, good. We're live. Just wanted to make sure because this is all new to me, doing this whole new setup. So say good morning. Let us know where you're from. And again, post any questions that you have in the comments and we will definitely get into those. Also wanted to let you know that the replays will be available pretty much immediately on Facebook and YouTube. The IGTV Live, I'm not able to post as an IGTV. I think I said IGTV Live. IG Live won't be posted as IGTV right away, but I will upload that to IGTV after we're done. And then, of course, any show notes, links, that type of thing, the podcast will all be available up on the blog in a day or two. So be sure to look out for that. And with that, I am going to bring on Gilberto. Hey, Gilberto.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Recovering from an exhausting weekend. As you know, events are blooming again and everything is so last minute, which I'm so excited. But oh my gosh, it's been back to back. 2 weekends ago, I have two weddings the same day. So
That's amazing. That's such
yeah,
good news. I'm so happy to hear that, Gilberto. Just because, as we all know, the pandemic has been hard on everyone. You were brave and kind of were launched like right when this all happened. So I'm just really happy, and I would love to hear from everyone else that is listening or watching how your event season is coming along as well. Are you seeing the same thing as Gilberto? Are you busy? Are you getting delays again? Would love to hear from you guys on that. So just in case people don't know who you are, Gilberto, and didn't join us last month, can you do like a quick introduction about who you are and a small smidge of your flower story?
yes, of course. So hi everyone, my name is Gilberto Espinoza, free half officially. I'm 28 years old. I'm a floral designer, and I'm the creative director of Dogwood Fir. So that's the name of our company that we created last year. Actually, we launched it on August. Last year it's not been a year, but I've been in the flower industry like for 4 years, 16. No, 16, 5 years already.
Right.
So 5 years already. I mean, I started working for other florists and freelancing. I'm still freelancing actually, and I'm freelancing for other florists. Plus, I went to school for 2 years to learn floral design. So that's kind of like my background in floral designing. And it's been a very interesting and challenging as well, but pretty nice adventure for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome. How has it been doing your events, Gilberto, with the kind of floral inventory logistic issues that our industry is experiencing? Has that affected you?
Not really. No, because the way that I design is more about based in color than in a specific flower. And I've been so lucky that my clients, they trust on my vision. So they are like, it's okay, do whatever you want. Seriously, last weekend I just have a wedding, and my client, when I was like chatting to her about like what she wants and everything, she told me like, listen, I don't want a white and blush wedding. I want a colorful wedding. I trust her vision. How much it will be? So I quote her. She paid right away, and it was perfect because I mean, again, the way that I work is more about the colors and the textures. So I can create a color palette, and based on that color palette, I started like putting together flowers. So if I cannot get any specific flower, I'm okay. I can jump to the other one. Like for example, let's say that there's a shortage in I don't know, Juliet garden roses. I can work trying to get another peach looking flower.
Right.
Now, it could be dahlia, it could be another rose, because at the end of the day, I understand that there's a shortage. One, two, flowers are seasonal. So it's so funny because before going live, I was talking to a client. She was placing an order, and I explained the same thing. Like, listen, as you saw on my website, I work with color palettes. I create this color palette. You choose your color palette, you choose your size, and the rest is on me because flowers are and none of the time are available.
Yeah,
So
I love that. So I actually have, do you mind if I share your web page that has like the color palettes on it, Gilberto?
yeah,
Okay, so
totally.
I have that kind of ready to go, and I was going to ask you about this later, but it just made sense because we're talking about events. So let me show everyone kind of what you're really talking about. So, guys, here is Gilberto's website. Let me expand it a little bit. And you have 4 different color palettes on here. And then when you scroll over, right, it shows an example of what the arrangement can look like. And I just think this is freaking genius. I love it. First of all, it's beautiful looking, right? The flat lay of the flowers and then the arrangement. So can you just talk a little bit about how you came up with this kind of concept of selling the flowers? I know you talked about the events, but this is like a daily way too. So this really, speaks well to our regular retail florists too, who may not do a whole lot of wedding or event work.
Yeah. So I mean, let's be realistic. I didn't discover nothing new, right?
Right,
So here in California, there's a couple of florists that they do the same, and there's a trend here in California or in San Diego where we create as a designer's choice, right? So I wanted to incorporate and take that in my website and in my business because in the previous experience that I have working in a floral shop, oh boy, it's always a trouble with clients because you can have like 100 pictures of a catalog in an arrangement. Let's say like Midnight in Paris and Love in Champs Elysees or whatever the name it is, right? And
right,
you display a picture, and let's say that that picture have um, I don't know, it has 5 roses in the picture, right? And it's in a specific type of rose. Let's say is the Shari rose, okay? So the clients they're expecting to get specifically what the picture says, right?
right,
So maybe there's no Shari roses, and you are replacing it with another one. Maybe you're replacing with a peony, which is good looking as well, right? So I I used to get phone calls in the flower shop that I used to get like, oh my gosh, my arrangement doesn't come with those 5 roses. It's like, yeah, but I sent you peonies. No, but I wanted those 5 roses. So
right.
I seriously wanted to avoid those kind of things because it's easier for you as a business owner to work like that. And I think the client is expecting more, you know? I mean, they see like these color palettes and it's like, oh, this is my mood. So I want to create something like that. And they're trusting on you, right? I mean, that's an amazing feeling that they trust on you about what they're going to get.
Right.
So this is the reason why I decided to go by that, by color palette and by sizes.
So yeah, I love that you did that, Gilberto. You took what you learned. Oh, were you talking? I'm so sorry. I know
No.
you're good.
Go
I was
for it.
looking at another screen, guys. It's gonna take me probably like 6 months to get used to my new setup. I was looking at the IG live and I saw you talking. There's a little bit of a delay. So I was like, oh, I don't wanna interrupt. And I look at my regular screen and there you are, just smiling at me. Yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, I love that you learned, you took what you learned at the flower shop and was like, okay, how can I mitigate those issues? How can I maybe do it a little bit differently? And again, yeah, it's something that, you know, people do already. It's not reinventing anything. It's just kind of putting in front of people ahead of time, which I think is brilliant. I see like a comment here on Instagram that came through and she says, also why I love buying from Mayesh, my salesperson can take a color palette and run with it. You get what looks best and it's a better customer experience. So it's just like full circle with all of us working together, making the best thing for our customers. So that way they want to continue to buy flowers because that's what we want. We want them to fall in love and continue to buy flowers.
And you know what, Yvonne, at the end of the day, I think you're doing a better job because you're doing something with your heart. You are more happy and like you're creating with joy, right? And you can tell at the end of the day because you feel free to create. You don't feel restricted like in a production line, right? In a production line, you just set up 5 of the same container, 1 greens, 1 flower, and you have a recipe. I know that it's important having a recipe for sure because you have to make profit, right?
Right.
But with this like free form or creation, kind of like the way I do it is, okay, so this is my budget. I spend this much in my budget, and this is going to be my profit. It's kind of like, I learned that in school as well. So it was kind of like the rule of the 60-40. So you spend the 40 and in production, like I don't know, let's say that your budget is 3,000. So you're going to spend the 40% of the 3,000 to buy the product and the supplies, and the 60% has to be your profit. So that's
beautiful.
How I do things.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So on this particular page that we're looking at, Gilberto, you have 4 different palettes. Was there a rhyme or reason why you came up with the 4 different color palettes? Is that like your favorites or something that you feel like spoke well to your clients? I'm just curious of how that came about.
So I came with 4 palettes because not all the people we have the same taste. Right. So I wanted to create 4 palettes that people can relate. So sometimes people, they are more into pastels, right? Sometimes people, they want something more cheerful. But to me, actually, my favorite one, like my favorite one is the Dark and Moody. I love Dark and Moody.
The Dark and Moody.
Oh yeah, I love that one. It's so sexy.
Yes, it's beautiful. My Instagram live people can't see it super well, but I'll share the link so that way you guys can visit it afterwards too, because they can see the one of the best. So let me share that here. You guys can check that out. But yeah, it's beautiful. So good. And then obviously you said that this is how you work with your wedding and event clients too, which again, I think is just a really amazing thing. And I think we just all can learn from that. You just kind of start with that. Do you have clients that are like, I don't want to work like that. I really need these flowers. How do you handle that?
Once I got one client that she was kind of like, I mean, I know the client has the right to say what they want, right? But at the same time, when I don't feel comfortable with those kind of situations, I just say like straightforward, listen, my intentions are to give you the very best because it's very important. It's your wedding day or it's your event day, and that's so important. but I don't think it will work between you and I, because my portfolio is completely different from what you're looking for. So maybe I can refer you to someone that fits you in your vision. And so far, it happened to me twice. And I'm doing it straightforward, in a polite way. You know what I mean? This is my portfolio. My portfolio doesn't fit in your vision, and
Right.
my intentions are to give you the best because it's a very important day. But I think it won't work. So let me refer you to someone else.
Very good.
Yeah,
I think
because
I think that's brave. I think a lot of people are worried about doing something like that, but I think it seems like you know yourself well enough that that's the path that you want to take. And I just applaud you for just being brave and just in doing that, and sticking with what you truly believe in.
thank you. Seriously, because there's a lot of people, and it's not your fault. There's a lot of people in the industry, not in the industry, sorry, and clients. They are just scrolling on Pinterest, or they are just looking on Instagram, and they follow some trends. And there's some florists or some people, they're perfect by doing that, and they master those kind of things, right? So I better direct to someone who can develop that project very well, and the client's gonna be happy, than having
Right.
a nightmare with a client, because then it's gonna give you a bad reputation that you're not doing what the client wants, and you don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So while we're talking about events, I had one other question kind of further down my list for you. So how you talked a little bit about like how you figure out your pricing and things like that. But can you go over like how you figure flowers you order for your events? Is it the same way with the percentages?
Yeah.
And do you use that in combination with like a recipe or something when you're doing something like at scale and at mass?
Usually, I order more like, as I told you. Like, for example, let's say that I have a budget for $3,000 in florals. So I try to buy just the 40%, and the 60 is it goes to profit. But of course, the key of this as well is when you are quoting, you have to quote labor and delivery separately, right? Because one thing is the labor, the day of the event. That day you need to pay staff. You have to be there on site working, so and so and so, plus the delivery. So you have to charge that like apart. So once you work on what you quote, like let's say for example, you're gonna have 10 centerpieces and one installation and two bar pieces, plus the bridal bouquet. You list that on your quote, depending on your prices. Let's
Right.
say you come with a budget of $7,000, the whole thing, right? So those $7,000, 40% goes to product and supplies, and then the other thing that I do is I add delivery and delivery at the end, and that's non negotiable. You never negotiate labor and delivery because you have to pay your staff and you have to pay yourself. So that's how I work things in events.
Okay. I love
I don't
it.
know
Thank
if it
you.
makes.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's similar to what I've heard some other people do. Everyone has a different method of figuring that out and what works best for them. So I know people are always interested in learning what other people are doing, what other designers do, and how they make a profit and a living doing what they're doing. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. Like doing this and designing is a beautiful, beautiful way to spend your time, but if you're doing this to make a living, you have to make sure that you have a profit at the end of that.
And the thing is, at the end of the day, I mean, I like to use nice flowers. So I think that I don't think I like to use nice flowers. So I rather
Right.
charge a good amount of money for one centerpiece. It's gonna times 10 or 15 plus this and this and this and this. So if you keep adding, it will give you a nice budget to buy nice flowers and work with them. And that's something that I learned as well from working in other floral shops. Like at the end of the day, you spend a lot of money in labor, so you have to watch out how you're gonna manage your time. That's the reason why in the the previous interview that we had, I mentioned that prep is everything. Prep is
Right.
everything. So I know that because I didn't start having coolers, right? But that's important. That's number one thing that you have to invest as a florist, right? There's two things that you don't hesitate. Is one, the coolers, and two, marketing. Those are the things that you never hesitate to invest, because marketing is going to bring you business, and the coolers is something that is going to make your business running. So once you have the coolers, you can buy your flowers in advance, storage them, and through the week before the event, you can start working in your centerpieces, your bridal bouquet, whatever you have to work, and storage in the cooler, and they're gonna be fine. So the day of the event, maybe you only have to pay labor for 4 or 3 assistants plus the delivery.
Very good. So I have a lot of questions that came through from, I see a bunch on Instagram, and I have one here from YouTube. They want to know, how do you charge for delivery and setup? Is there a certain percentage from the subtotal? And like, again, similar questions from like Bloom Creative Floral. Do you charge a percentage for labor and delivery? Someone asked, do you do it by the hour? And
I do by the hour. Yeah.
You do it by the hour.
Usually to my staff, I pay $30 per hour. So let's say that I'm going to need them for 6 hours, right? So it's 3 times 6 is 180 just for 1 people in staff. And let's say that I'm going to use 3 people in staff. So it's 180 times 3 plus my time. So let's say I charge per hour $50 per hour, because it's my designing, my time, and everything, right? So let's say I'm going to need 8 hours for myself. So I multiply that time plus I add the timing of my staff and plus the delivery. And that, again, it's not negotiable.
Right. That makes sense. And then how do you handle the delivery piece of it? Is it an hourly thing too, or is it like a percentage, or?
By miles.
By miles. Okay.
Yeah, by miles. And it's by miles, and it depends. Right now, I don't have a van, right? I don't have a van. Well, eventually we'll get it, but I don't have a van. So if it's something that is too much, that I need to like transport some pieces or furniture or a lot of things, I need to rent a U-Haul.
Right.
So you need to include the cost of the U-Haul in there. How much it's gonna cost you per mile, and so and so and so.
Great. Perfect. I lost my questions on IG Live, but I saw another one ask, someone else wanted to know if you had a minimum that you have for your events.
I try to do a minimum of 5,000, but you can customize.
Very good.
Customize it in the way that maybe it's gonna be just a small allotment, like the one that I did this weekend. It was just for 10 people, so it was just the ceremony installation, the bridal bouquet, the boutonniere, and that was initially the quote. So again, that's how I did it. So I quote X amount of money for the installation plus the bridal bouquet and the boutonniere, right? And then I add my time and labor and delivery, right? And then the bride, she was like, "Oh, we're gonna have dinner in a restaurant." I was like, it doesn't make any sense that you're going to a restaurant if you have this amazing piece in the backyard. So why don't you hire a private chef, and we set up a nice table so you can have your dinner with your backdrop and your family. She was like, okay, that's a good idea. And then I needed to add the flowers for the centerpiece and curating the tablescape.
I love it. So I think that's brilliant too, because that goes to show that just because a client comes in with an idea of what they want to do doesn't mean that they're not open to doing something else, and then it actually ends up being a more beautiful event, probably because of what you've already are creating for them. And then you also get to build up that order as well. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, because look, this is something that I talk to my husband a lot. we are selling an experience.
Yeah.
Priceless, right? I mean, and I can speak for myself with my wedding. Oh my gosh, my wedding was amazing for me and for us and for people, for my guests. It was amazing because we were having a nice time and an experience, and that's priceless. So, as a florist, our goal is to create something that brings you joy, and you're gonna like have memories for life, right? So when you know that value already, you can upscale and you can sell the experience to your clients, and they will be willing to accept that and to buy it because they're gonna talk about it the rest of their lives.
Right. Right. I love it. I have Lily Designs here on Instagram, and she says, "You're so good in detail. Do workshops." So something to think about.
Actually, thank you for bringing to the table. Can I do like a shout out in here if want?
Oh, of course. Yes.
I'm planning a workshop on probably by the fall season. Um,
Okay.
I'm planning a workshop in the fall season, so stay tuned with that. It will be like a 3 day workshop where it's gonna be my one of the photographers that I work a lot, Sadie. She will be teaching photo techniques, and I'll be teaching florals. So in that workshop, we're gonna cover everything, like from the centerpieces, the bridal bouquet, basic topics about how to design, and of course, I mean, we're gonna have the opportunity to work with nice blooms and nice flowers, and we're gonna go through color construction and so and so. But it's gonna be like a 3 day thing workshop, so it will be on the fall season. So stay tuned for that.
Ooh, sounds exciting. Make sure you share with us so we can share with everyone else too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that would be nice for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I had my campaign, my spring campaign, like 3 weeks ago. The theme was Mary Antoinette. I love that movie from Sofia Coppola, so I got inspired by that, and that was
Yes, it's beautiful.
so you're gonna see the video soon about it, and that will be like the promo for the workshop.
Awesome. Yeah, you already have people saying that they're in. So you have at least 2 seats sold.
Okay,
I
good.
yeah. Someone was also asking if we are going to save this video, just so you know, everyone that's watching on IG Live. Yes, it will be saved, but I'm going to be uploading it after the fact because of the way we're doing the live. It's a little bit different, so because we're streaming on 3 different platforms all at one time. So yes, it'll be saved, and you'll be able to always find it on our blog. I post every video replay there along with the podcast. And for all my podcasters, leave us a little bit of love. I would love to have a review, 5 stars if you want, and in a few words would be awesome if you have the time. But I just appreciate you listening, just in general. Love it, love it, love it. Someone is also asking if we have a newsletter where we can sign up now about the workshop. Do you have I will share it no matter what on our newsletter and blog and all that. That'll be out no matter what. But do you have anything that people can sign up for, Gilberto?
Yes, actually, because right now I'm still in the process of planning it.
Mm-hmm.
So once I have figured out everything and the cost and everything, I'm gonna create a tab on my website so you can go ahead and buy it. I think that I will have the maximum 5 places in the workshop, 5 to 8 people, because it will be a lot of production.
Right.
As I mentioned, eventually what we want is to rent like an Airbnb or like a nice venue where we all gather together, we learn about florals, and Sadie's is gonna be teaching photo, and we have like a nice meal, and we all get together and work together in this project. So
Okay.
it will be kind of like that. But I think 8 people maximum. So stay tuned.
Sounds great. Yeah. I know from experience, like, because we've done bigger workshops where we have like 25 people, and it's a lot. Like when you have to have like a giant team, and you have to have a giant space and enough space for the flowers, and it's a lot. So I like the smaller setting idea.
Yeah, I rather focus more on quality than quantity, guys, because
Yeah.
I want to give you my time. Seriously, take my time to explain and teach and just get to know you. So it is more personal because oh my gosh, I have a lot of like things in my mind all the time,
Right.
especially because I want to cover a lot of and share some of the things that I learned in school. I've been learning live. I learned and when I went to study filmography, and as well what I'm still learning because as I told you, I still freelancing for another florist, and I'm still learning from them.
Right, right. Yeah, that's great. So speaking of learning, I saw a question also from IG that's not showing up here in our chat here. But they wanted to know, where did you go to flower school?
So here in San Diego, there's an association which is the Sweetwater School Association, and there's like an adult school thing, right? So it's kind of like a job training program, and they have different programs like for cooking and so and so. But they have the
Mm-hmm.
floral design program. Actually, my teacher, her name, I'm gonna do a shout out and thank you, Nancy, for everything. Nancy, she was amazing, and oh my gosh, I kind of want to cry
Oh,
because I owe her a lot, and she believed in me and she got me the opportunity and she supported me a lot. So Nancy, thank you so much.
thank you,
And
Nancy.
yeah, thank you, Nancy. Actually, Nancy, well, Cindy from Mayesh Carlsbad and Nancy, they know each other very well. They've been in the industry for a long, long time. So thank you so much, Nancy, for everything.
Oh, very sweet, very sweet. And before we move on to the design video, I have one more question about your minimum.
Yeah.
Um, she wants to know if you do it by guest count, or is it just a flat minimum? I know you mentioned like a $5,000 minimum.
Uh, it's I It's not by guest count. I mean, my husband, he's like, yeah, I mean, we have to do numbers by guest count. And I get it. It's very important. And you know what? Not thank you to mention it because I saw a post the other day on Instagram about back in the days in some blogs, or there was like a saying that you need to spend on your budget like the 15% of your budget in florals. But nowadays it's not the same. You have to come straightforward to your clients that 15% of your budget is not enough because they want massive installations for the ceremony.
Right.
They want a show. So they need to know that at least they need to spend 30 to 40% of their budget in flowers. So it's just a
You
message.
heard that here, guys. I mean, that's a big number, Gilberto. 30 to 40% of a
Yeah.
budget on flowers. So, and honestly, I understand where you're coming from, because the brides and the clients are coming to you guys, right? And saying, I want this and this and this. And they really have no idea how much any of that costs. Which, again, another idea for everyone that's watching and listening. Talk about how much things cost a little bit more publicly, because I think that's going to help educate the clients in understanding what they're looking at on Pinterest and what they're bringing to you guys. If there was like a price tag attached to all of those Pinterest pictures, people
Yeah.
would be better educated. And then you guys also wouldn't have that frustration of going back and forth with trying to educate them and getting them to understand, like, you can't spend $1,500 and get that big, giant, beautiful arch, because that thing costs more than what your whole budget is.
Exactly. No, that's true. Seriously, that's true. And the thing is that I think I don't want to put myself in that position because at the end of the day, I do believe that content and marketing is everything for your business.
Right.
And let's be realistic. Style shoots is completely different than real life. Okay? I do a lot of style shoots because to me, style shoots is very important. They give you the opportunity to get the potential and ideal client for sure. Okay? So in your style shoot, you spend a lot of money because it's for show. You have to showcase, right? But let's be realistic. It's you have to spend money or invest. Let's say you have to invest money to get more money back, right?
Right.
And it gives you the chance to sell that vision that you have, right? So you have to be straightforward with your client and say, like, this is my portfolio, this is what I'm capable to do, but this is how much it's gonna cost.
Right.
Okay. Maybe we can adjust some things to your budget. Like, let's say, yeah, usually I recommend in a long table 3 centerpieces, right? And maybe you don't want to spend that much money, so maybe let's do just one nice centerpiece, and we start from there. Let's say that just one nice centerpiece is going to cost you $250 to $300, right? And you need 10 of them, so it's 350 times 10, and then you start from them, from there.
Right.
Yes, you need to set your minimums, because again, every dream florist is to work with nice flowers, and you need to come straight forward again with the client. Say, I cannot do this for this, because this is for show. And a lot of clients, are willing to spend that money, though, seriously, because they understand that it's something that is special. So I always say that there's 4 things that you never hesitate in your wedding day. One is flowers, because that's kind of like the start of the show. 2, your photographer. Invest in your photographer. Your videographer is 3, and 4 is the food. That's like the most important things that you never hesitate in your budget for your wedding.
Right.
The
Love
rest
it.
of it is complementary. Yes, there's something that you can be like, no, I don't need this. Yes, I need this. But those 4 things are the topic of the conversation about your wedding. How good were the florals? How beautiful everything was? And then you're gonna see the pictures and you're gonna remember. And then you see the video and you're just like, wow. And then who doesn't love food? Come on.
Right.
So it's like, oh my gosh, the food in your wedding was amazing. So those are 4 things you never hesitate to spend money on it.
Love it.
In my opinion.
Yeah, of course. Kira says, I'm loving this part of the conversation. Relatable AF. I won't say the real one, although I do swear a lot, guys. I know no one believes me, but I do. Ask my 11-year-old. She gets mad at me. She's so cute. She keeps me on my toes. All right. So let me share. So I have the website up so that everyone can see. It's not because it's a small picture, right? If we're looking on this, but Gilberto, when we opened up that link and we saw the pictures, I think before the video, but the video with the music and all the amazing details that went into this is just literally just jaw-dropping gorgeous, guys. I don't know if you all saw the video yet, but make sure that you go and you watch it. I'm going to share the link. But let's dive into this a little bit. And guys, if you have any questions, let me know. We'll still answer them as we go. But really just want to start with the probably question that's just on everyone's mind is, where did you get the inspiration for this particular design and color palette? You mentioned earlier that dark and moody is your favorite, and can definitely see that here.
Yeah, I love dark and moody. I mean, I'm obsessed with those colors. I think they're like super mysterious and sexy, and I just love them. And I think I mentioned before, I'm a super huge fan of Harry Potter. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of Hogwarts and Harry Potter and those kind of things. And every time that I go to the Wizarding World, oh my gosh, it's like I'm in heaven, because I see like all these textures and all these things. And of course, I mean, one of my favorite art currents is the still life painting, which is the Dutch period, because the way the lighting hits on the flowers and how they used to paint the portraits, that inspires me the most. Actually, I'm gonna show you something. Here in my studio, I'm sorry for the mess. I've been having like productions back to back, and I have a huge mess in my studio, but I want to share you something with you guys. So one time I went to a Salvation Army? No, a vintage shop. And I got this picture right here. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's a massive picture. It's like in my studio, so it's kind of like something that I look all the time because I love it.
It's beautiful. Going on a field trip. I like field trips.
Yeah, it's a mess. Look, I mean, I still have like flowers in the cooler and everything that I need to work because I have orders and stuff. But yeah, yeah, I got sorry, I was talking too much. I got the inspiration because of that. The color palette is my favorite, dark and moody, and then this current of art, which is this movement, still life painting. So That's how I got
Right.
this for this.
So beautiful. So in the video, Gilberto, you used both pin frog and wire. Why did you decide to use both methods to help secure the flowers?
Because I was using very heavy stems. So the pin frog will help you to secure the stem in an angle, and the chicken wire is gonna support it. So let's see. Let me grab a pin frog. Hold on. So I can do a quick demonstration.
I love it. We went on a field trip and now getting a live demo. And while Gilberto's grabbing that, I'm just scrolling through just some of the detailed photos that are up on our blog from the video. Like just really amazing and super rich and just I love it. Love it.
I'm back. So I have my pin frog in here.
Let me move it. There you go. Mm-hmm.
And we put the pin frog at the very bottom of the vessel, right? So now we're gonna add the chicken wire in the vase. Okay. So this is what happens. This is my stem. Let me cut it this long. So what happened is when you poke the stem and go like this, here you secure it first in the pin frog that's gonna stay there. Okay. And the chicken wire is supporting that for not going over to any other place, you see?
Right.
So that's the reason why I do that technique, like secure it twice. And I learned that from other florists as well. So it's been so helpful.
Yeah, it's very good. And especially when you have to move things around. Like if you're preparing like in your studio and you have to like take it and then if you're only using maybe one method, things are going to be shifting and you have to like spend a lot of time probably fixing things up.
Yeah, that's another conversation that we had last interview,
Mm-hmm.
the last live about floral foam versus paint frozen chicken wire.
Right.
Very interesting, the debate.
Right. Yes. Yes. If you guys want to watch that, it's up on our blog. Erin says, I absolutely am obsessed with your dark and moody vibe. I did a death till death theme for a bridal expo and everyone thought I was insane, but it did get a lot of wonderful attention. So thank you for proving to me I'm not insane. Keep on dazzling. So that's good. Go, Erin. I know. I am wondering like if more people are going to be drawn to more of the dark and moody type of things just because everything's been so light and airy for such a long time. Yeah. You know?
I love
that. Curious.
My wedding was dark and moody, actually.
I know. I did a little Insta stalking and found your wedding so that way I could see all the pictures and everything. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty dark and moody, and it was pretty nice. It was interesting, and I got a lot of compliments because of that. It was like everything looks so elegant and like so elevated. It was like, yeah, it's because of the colors.
Yes, yeah, it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. Also in the video, Gilberto, I think you're one of the first designers that used flower food in a video, which flower food is important. So do you use it every time you design or do you only use it for everyday designs? Kind of what are your thoughts there?
That's rule number one. Using flower food all the time so your flowers last longer.
Yeah.
And that's something that I learned again in school.
Right. So I'm curious, everyone else that's watching and listening, do you guys use flower food when you're doing wedding and events? I'm curious because honestly, it's the first time anyone's ever done it. And I feel like I've heard other people say that they don't necessarily use it for an event because for whatever reason, because it doesn't need to last as long. It doesn't need to last like 7 to 10 days or whatever. So I just thought that was very interesting and wanted to kind of point that out to everyone because it was a small moment. But for me, I was like, oh, very cool.
Every single time. When I get flowers from an event, I come back to my studio, I fresh cut the stems, I clean all the leaves, and I put them in water with floral food. Because that way they're going to last the time that you need for the event. And actually, I mean, you can tell how happy the flowers look when you have the floral food in it.
Right.
So that's super important. And not only because of that. I mean, remember that floral food, it has some components that are gonna avoid bacteria and gonna stabilize the flower to live better. So,
Right.
flower food all the time.
Very good. Just checking. I see someone say ruby shoes. I have so many frogs that belong to my grandmother. They're not rusted and they're not rusted and I still use them to this day, which is really cool and kind of I'm just curious of I wonder if I put it in here. I was thinking that. I was wondering like where do you get your pin frogs from? I hear a lot of people like search for them in like different places or inherit them from like Ruby Shoes did from their grandmother. Do you buy them all new or do you get them from like other places?
I buy them new actually. Here in San Diego, we have the San Diego Floral Syndicate and the
Mm-hmm.
San Diego Floral Supplies. So you can buy them in there. I don't know if how it works in LA or in Miami or in Vegas. If you have like a syndicate or something that provides supplies for florists, but I get them from there. And the vintage frogs are amazing. I do have some vintage frog, like the one that I show you guys. This one right
Mm-hmm.
here is the vintage one. It was a gift for someone, which I love it. It's very
Yeah.
heavy. Uh, I love to like look for vintage, but sometimes they got popular and they're almost the same price as a new one. So just get the new
Right.
one. Sorry,
Very good.
but yeah.
I love it.
I'm
Okay.
I'm looking for a wholesaler price because I mean, yes, paint frogs, even they're wholesale, they're pricey. So
Right.
I try to look for like someone who provides or who makes paint frogs so I can get them directly from the fabric.
Very good. Very good. Okay, my next question, and you can kind of see a lot of the elements here in the picture that I'm showing, but where did you get all of these amazing extra elements for the design? The taxidermy, insects, books. Like, is this how do you source all of those amazing details?
Okay, so I'm a huge fan of. I'm sorry, but I like taxidermy. I don't hunt or nothing. I mean, I don't kill animals. I never, like, never, never, never. But it's kind of like an art.
Right.
So it's art in a way, right? So as I mentioned you, I mean, I'm a huge fan of like Harry Potter and those kind of vibes, and I like that. So I kind of collect some pieces, like the quail,
Mm-hmm.
and the bugs and the butterflies. I'm a huge fan of those things. So actually, I'm trying to create like a line of butterfly collections that I will be selling them. I just get the batches of the butterflies and I need to hydrate them and mount them and then put them in the clothes. So those ones they look very very nice as decoration pieces. So I'm planning on selling that on my website as well. I have a few of them like around my house. You want to see it?
Sure.
Like, let me show you.
We're going on another field trip,
Another
guys.
filter.
I love it.
Okay.
While you're going to wherever you're going, I have a couple people answering my question of whether or not they use flower food when they do their weddings and events. And so, Huntress Florals, they said yes, we always use in processing and sometimes in vases depending on the event type. And then Schwa, she says I don't use flower food in my wedding centerpieces, but I agree that if you're planning to create the centerpieces in advance, it's a good idea to add flower food to ensure
Yeah.
flower life till the event day.
Yeah, the thing
Thank-
is that I do create in advance, so that's the reason why I use flower food all the time
yeah,
because it saves my time. It's better for my timing. Again, it helps you to watch out your labor because we florists spend a lot of money in labor. If you don't watch out your labor, you're gonna spend a lot of money in labor. So that's the reason why I rather work in advance. So you have things like a little bit under control, and you just hire people when you need to hire people.
very good. All
So
right.
here you are. I have this collection right here. So this one's right here. I ordered the butterflies. It came in a batch, and I hydrate them, and then I just mount them, and then I create this kind of like dome with these butterflies. This box I got them from a friend of mine, but I just put them in the clothes. And I have like all over my house actually because I love it. It's very eclectic, I know.
No, it's so cool. I love that you're sharing this with us.
Thank you. So yeah, I love butterflies. So that's the reason why I get them, and that's how I got them. So if you're interested into getting some butterflies, let me know, and yeah, I can sell you some cloches or something with butterflies for sure. I mean, I've been planning to get that online as a product. So let's see.
Very good. This might be your little stuff to get that done. Um, I had another question about the video. You talk about the use of triangles when composing an arrangement. Can you talk a little bit more about that technique?
Yeah, 100%. So when I went to school for filmography, that's the first time that I heard about composition, right? So composition is something very important when you're creating something in any kind of design. Okay, why is that? Because that way it makes sense. Okay, that is in painting, that is in photography, that is in videography, even in floral design. Okay, it makes sense. So the human eye and the brain is trained, or is always looking for shapes or that something makes sense. So I brought up a piece of paper with me and I'm going to show you. Let's say this is our blank canvas. Okay. So as I mentioned in the video, every action has a reaction. Okay. So mainly what you want to see in your composition, it's movement. Okay. You want to see lines and you want to see a focal point. Okay. So in my black canvas right here, let's say I'm gonna draw a point. Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So when you see this, automatically your eyes or your brain, they're gonna focus in this point. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to compensate it. You want to like create a balance in here. So if I draw another point right here, your eye is doing this.
Right.
It's not just focusing on one point. Now you're creating like an imaginary line. So that's movement. You want to see, you want to draw the attention to point A to point B. Okay? This is kind of like an implicit line. But if I draw an actual line in here, now automatically you're telling someone, go from here to here. Okay? Now, what about the triangles? Okay, let's say that I have a triangle in here. Okay? Now you're playing with the whole thing. I have a focal point right here, but at the same time, I have a line in here. So you are telling to the people who's watching this composition, this is my focal point. Hey, I'm here. But you can see in here as well. So you are kind of like playing with the eye and you're doing intentionally. This is my main focus. But then I have everything around this composition that you're going to love. It makes sense?
Yeah. Very cool. Does
So
it make sense, guys?
does it make any sense?
I
I mean,
love
don't
it.
get
We
me
got
wrong.
an art
I
lesson
mean,
today.
yeah, I mean, I will dig more and more and more in my workshop for sure, because this is something that I learned in school for, as I told you, for photography, filmography, and for design as well. So I want to create like a not like a book, just like a, how you say in English, guide,
Guide.
or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, something that you use in the workshop. So that we talk about and discuss this topic about how to create, because again, we are working with flowers, we're working with colors and textures, so it has to be attractive to the eye to catch the attention. And when you understand these principles and how to play with this, now it's like, oh, it makes sense. Now you're entertaining your eye, you're entertaining people by watching everything. So
Right.
basically, again, this is your focal point. I'm here, but then you have a line that draws attention in here, and then we can keep going and going and going with lines and shapes and texture and colors. But just like a little explanation about what I was saying about that, and selling point right now. You will see this in my workshop.
Very good. So speaking of like tips for designers, I did get a question come in from Super Sunny Sill. They want to know, what are some tips for new floral designers? And we have like just a few more minutes, but I thought that would be a really great question to cover today.
Tips for new floral designers.
Yep.
Invest in yourself.
Yep. Invest in yourself. Is that what you said?
I always like to say that out loud because it helped me in my life. It helped me in my business and it helped me a lot. Invest in yourself. And yes, you have to spend sometimes money, but it's an investment. You're going to get it back 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, but invest in yourself. And by investing in yourself is everything. Invest in the way you look, right? Go to the hair salon. Pay a good hair salon. Is your hair. Go to the dentist. Go to the dermatologist. And because you're investing in yourself, you're looking good, you're feeling good, right? In your business, go to workshops, take classes. Don't hesitate in spend money in good flowers, because that way you're creating your portfolio and you are going to sell something amazing, and you can tell right away in your portfolio that you are willing to create with nice flowers. And it's a good thing. Just invest, because you're gonna get it back. Yes, it takes time for sure, but you have to be patient. Good things take time, so you have to be patient and be prepared all the time. And when you never know, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm back to back, I'm busy, I'm booking weddings, I'm booking this, I have orders. So invest in yourself.
Very good. I love it. I think that's really great advice, because it can mean so many different things and different planes and different aspects of being a designer and even starting up a new business. And so that's great.
Yeah, that's kind of like the advice that I like to say all the time. Just invest in yourself all the time.
Yeah. Very good. That's kind of the end of the show. Gilberto, do you have anything else that you want to share with us before we kind of wrap it up?
We're not so far. I mean, I know it's so sad that it's just 2 videos of Design Star. I wish it was more, but I just want to thank you guys, Mayesh, for this opportunity. I enjoy the planning of everything. When I knew that I would be Design Star, I was like, oh my gosh, what I'm going to do. So I started like putting together all the production. It was amazing. The filming process, creating the concepts, and it was such a good experience. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate this. And it's not I want to share something else. I just want to thank you, Mayesh, for that.
Oh, so sweet. Thank you. And Gilberto, you and your team just really rocked it these last 2 months. And I wish we could have everyone that we chose this year, like for a whole year, because I just am really excited about all the creativity that everyone is bringing, and it's a different vibe. And I'm just so happy and honored that you shared what you did with us so far. And I hope this is just the beginning. And I hope that we continue to work together and share with our community, because I can tell that you're passionate about what you do. You love what you do. And you're so incredibly talented, creative. And again, I'm just really excited that we got to give this platform to you, and you got to share that love with everyone else.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much, Mayesh and Guy. So again, just stay tuned. I will keep you updated about the workshop, and I will see you there for sure. And let's make this happen.
Let's make it happen, guys. So I shared Dogwood Fir's Instagram and webpage with you guys. It'll also be, again, up on the blog show notes, so you can check that out. And that's a wrap for today's Mornings with Mayesh. Next week, I have Derek and that's a wrap. I have Derek and Michael Putnam that's going to be joining me for their new book, Flower Color Theories. Yes.
I just got the book. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
I mean,
it's a
the
beautiful
Putnam guys.
book. Yeah.
I was not able to attend to one of the workshops because I had this two weddings in one weekend, and I'm like, oh, why? But seriously, guys, if you want to have more inspiration, follow the Putnams. The Putnam guys are amazing. They're an inspiration.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really, really excited. I was supposed to have them on the show when their first book came out, but they had like a family thing that happened and it didn't work out. So I'm just really excited to have them on, and their book is amazing. So make sure you check it out. And I may or may not have bought a bunch to give away too. So, another reason to come on the show, guys.
Guys, seriously, again, invest in yourself, and if you're gonna invest in yourself, buy the Putnam and Putnam books. Seriously, it's life saving. It's amazing. Those guys are genius.
Yes.
I seriously, I it's not like I regret because I had two events in that weekend, but I'm like, I wanted to go to that workshop so bad. I hope they have another date because I really want to meet them and learn from them, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I have the book sitting right next to me. I know I'm a little person right now on the screen, but definitely check that out. Come join me next week.
Kind of like the Bible for the florist. You have to have it, period.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna love you, Gilberto, for pumping up their book before they even get on the show. So thank you again, Gilberto. Thank you so much for everything that you have given our community. I know it's not an easy feat to create design videos. People literally have no clue until they actually get into doing it, what it takes to make this happen. So we really appreciate you. Thank you for your time today. I know people love the show. I'm just watching all the comments and everything. So it was a really great show with everything that you shared. And everyone that watched and are listening or listen to the replay, I appreciate you guys so much. And I will see everyone next week. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.
You too. Bye-bye.